In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process that I used to create this trillion setting. If you like this video or find it helpful and would like to see more content similar in the future, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be the first to be notified when I post new videos. Let's go ahead and dive into today's project. The materials that I've selected are a 6mm trillion cut amethyst, 3 segments of 21 gauge square in 3-inch pieces, and then 3 segments of 18 gauge half round in 4-inch segments. And I've set aside about a foot of 28 gauge wire. If possible, it's probably easiest and least wasteful to work directly from the spool. I'm going to start building the setting by taking 2 of our 21 gauge squares and wrapping our 28 gauge round around them 10 times. Once I have all 10 rotations, I can take my pliers and I can flatten that coil so that they sit nice and flush inside it together, and I can trim that excess off. Now that I have this coil prepared, I'm actually going to set it off to the side, take one of our half rounds, pinching with my pliers in the middle of the wire, and give just a little bend to either side, bowing it just slightly. I'm going to repeat the same process with our other 2 half rounds. As I'm doing this, I do want to make sure that they'll still sit flat. So looking down, it shouldn't be kinking one way or the other. It should just bend to one side or the other. Okay, we're going to set one of those off to the side, and we're going to take 2 of them, and we're going to connect them on top of our square coil using that 28 gauge round to coil them on top of the structure 3 times. Once I have 3 complete rotations, I'm going to go ahead and wrap just around the squares 2 times. So it should be a separate coil underneath the half rounds. From here, I'm going to bend my 2 squares out to either side, following along the line of our half round. Just like so. I'm going to take our last square. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 kink into it for now. Where I can go ahead and you can see how it begins to form the bottom of the triangle there, where the setting will actually be. And I can take my 28 gauge right over to the section where those 2 begin to form the triangle, wrap it around 2 times. I can then take my pliers and put the last kink into my square so that they'll sit next to each other there. before adding our last half round into our coil. They're going to sit flat on top of our two squares. We're going to wrap around 3 times. Once again. Making sure that they sit flat before going back to just the squares 10 times. There, I can trim this short and set it off to the side. I'm going to take my pliers, I'm going to flatten that coil just so that everything sits nice and flush inside of it. You can begin to see how the setting will be formed. Our half round that's connected on both sides, we do want to add a little bit of a separation between it and the setting beneath it. That way the stone has a little bit of a lip to sit underneath. So I'm taking my little flat screwdriver. You could also use the tip of your pliers. I'm carefully just inserting that between the two, causing it to bow up slightly. This next step is a little bit tricky, but I want to separate the two sections, causing them to spread a little bit, and I want to slide my stone underneath the lip that's already secured on both sides of half round. I want to slide both of the other two over the edges of my stone. On the bottom side, I want to take my fingers and slide the two squares together, where if I was to just pinch and hold it from here, it holds the stone securely. I'm going to take our remaining 28 gauge, it looks like I've got about 5 inches of it left, and I'm going to wrap it around one of the squares first just to start connecting them together, and then I'm going to wrap it around both of them twice before connecting the half round into the coil. So I've got it around 2 times. I'm going to pinch it so that they sit flat and flush together. I'm going to make sure that my half rounds are over the top of the edges of my stone so that it's sitting neatly in its seat. I'm going to take the rest of that round, wrap it around all 4 wires 3 times. And then down to just the squares for 10. Now that my stone is secured, I can go ahead and pinch the connection that wraps the half rounds into the coil with the squares, just gently. I just want to flatten it so that it secures the wires into place, but I don't want them to malform. From here, I can adjust the setting if I need to. I want to make sure that from the point of one end of the triangle, a straight line could be drawn directly in the center of the opposite side of the stone. And I can adjust as needed. Make sure that the wires cover all of the sides of the stone. and it's ready to be connected into a piece. The remaining wire endings on each side can easily be used to secure this setting into the frame of a pendant, which is exactly what I did with this piece here. I've done several videos on the style in which I frame my pendants. If you're interested in checking out those, I will link them in the description below. A special thank you goes out to all the names on your screen for supporting this channel through Patreon. What I'm doing would not be possible without your support. If you're interested in helping support the channel, follow the link in the description below this video. If you found this video helpful, leave me a like on the video. This helps me out a lot with the visibility of my videos in YouTube's algorithms. To be the first to know when I upload new content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when new videos are available. Thank you for watching, and happy wrapping.